Prabhupada Bhajan. Take back the hosts.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our revered speaker for today, His Grace PARIVIDHA Prabhu, and all glories to assembled Vaishnavi devotees.
Hare.
Dear devotees, we thank you all for being here. Today, I believe, is the first day His Grace PARIVIDHA Prabhu will be speaking to us on this platform. Prabhuji, you're very much welcome to our Krishna Africa platform. And few things before we start. Of course, we are live on YouTube as we speak, and the setting is almost the same as a temple room setting speaking Bhagavatam. So, Srila Prabhupada has already chanted the Jaya Radha Madhava. Some speakers also prefer to chant the Jaya Radha Madhava themselves, even after Srila Prabhupada has chanted. And if you choose to do that, you may do that. Otherwise, Srila Prabhupada has chanted, and then we put the verse on the screen, and then you speak, you recite the sloka. The devotees may not respond after you when you recite. You read the synonyms translation purport, and then you give your insight. And after that, devotees may share their realizations or ask some questions.
Yeah.
Then we bring the class to a close. We will give a little bit more introduction of your humble self after the class, by which time we would have had more devotees than we do at the moment. So that is what we do. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So, Hare Krishna. So,
Hare Krishna.
let us skip the Jaya Radha Madhava, as Srila Prabhupada chanted it already.
Okay.
The verse was it 25?
Yes.
Okay.
3125. So I may put it on the screen.
All right.
So you may and others also see.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sa Vasudevanucharam Prashantam Brihaspate Praktanayam Pratitam Alingya Gadam Pranayena Bhadram Svanam Aprichat Bhagavat Prajanam Sa Vidura Vasudev, Lord Krishna, Anucharam, constant companion, Prashantam, very sober and gentle, Brihaspati, of Brihaspati, the learned spiritual master of the demigods. Pra, formerly, Tanayam, son or disciple. Pratitam, acknowledged. Aligya, embracing. Gadham, very feelingly. Pranayena, in love. Bhadram, auspicious. Svanam, his own. Aprichat, asked. Bhagavat, of the personality of Godhead. Prajanam, family. Translation. Then, due to his great love and feeling, Vidura embraced him, Uddhava, who was a constant companion of Lord Krishna and formerly a great student of Brihaspati's. Vidura then asked him for news of the family of Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Vidura was older than Uddhava, like a father, and therefore when the two met, Uddhava bowed down before Vidura, and Vidura embraced him, because Uddhava was younger, like a son. Vidura's brother Pandu was Lord Krishna's uncle, and Uddhava was a cousin to Lord Krishna. According to social custom, therefore, Vidura was to be respected by Uddhava on the level of his father. Uddhava was a great scholar in logic, and he was known to be a son of or disciple of Brihaspati, the great learned priest and spiritual master of the demigods. Vidura asked Uddhava about the welfare of his relatives, although he already knew that they were no longer in the world. This inquiry appears to be very queer, but Srila Jiva Goswami states that the news was shocking to Vidura, who therefore inquired again due to great curiosity. Thus his inquiry was psychological and not practical. And due to his great love and feeling, Vidura embraced Uddhava, who was a constant companion of Lord Krishna and formerly a great student of Brihaspati's. Vidura then asked him for news of the family of Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Om Agyanatimarandasya Gyanamjana Salakya Chakshurmiritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Malopistam Stapitam Yena Kutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Vatiswapadandikam Nityananda Vatandu Vasuda Prana Balaba Janiviti Vitapati Krishna Prema Padapagu Patmavati Sutan Sriman Sachinanda Bhuva Joba Vomakoya Katata Rakta Gora Kalevara Namo Mahavarayaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tvisena Maha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Srivasari Gora Bhaktavinda Tapta Kanchana Gorage Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vristavanam Sutadevi Pranani Hari Priye Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhudina Banda Jukapate Gopisha Gopaka Kanta Radha Kanta Nabosate Namo Brahmai Devai Go Brahmanita Jajikatita Krishna Govandana Mama Hare Krishna. So here in this verse, the word Badram is mentioned. Sorry, I have a cold. Badram means auspicious. Badram, there's a personality which has the name Badram too. It's Subhadra. Su is very, so she's very auspicious. And when Narada Muni, when he encounters a disciple or someone, then he always ends with Badram Te, which means all good fortune unto you. So like that, sometimes when I write to younger devotees, I also end with Badram Te. Then, let me see in the word. So the second word, Vasudev, you have to really pronounce it as Vasudev and not as Vasudev, because Vasudev is the name of the father of Krishna. So it is very important to pronounce, if the A has a line on it, then it's an A. And if it's without, then it's an A. In English, in Dutch, our vowels are exactly the same as in Sanskrit. Only we have like one A or two A instead of a line on top of it. And our E is the same as E, but in English, the vowels are pronounced completely different. So for a Dutch person, it's very easy to learn Sanskrit, at least to read it in our lettering. So here, it is said that Vidura, or that Uddhava, he touched the feet of Vidura, and then Vidura embraced him. So in India, the custom is, used to be, is that the children, when they see the parents for the first time in the morning, they touch the feet of the parents to show respect. When they go to school, they touch the feet of the teacher to show respect. And to any elderly person. You see in the Islamic people, they go like this to the heart. You know, they pay obeisances like this, and devotees, they do like this. When we were young, when we used to see another devotee, we always paid our obeisances. These days, you don't see that anymore. Even they don't do it to older devotees. But when we were young, we were constantly paying obeisances, you know, like that. So things, like anything, after a while, it waters down. So things waters down and things get lost. So for me, it's very painful to see like standards in deity worship or in behavior that it's not the same as it used to be. But that's the nature. Srila Prabhupada himself says that that's the nature of time. In due course of time, even the Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita was lost and had to be spoken again. Just like Krishna says to Arjuna that I'd spoken this to the sun god and you were there, but you forgot. So that is the nature of time, that things get lost. And now, fortunately, we have many recordings of Srila Prabhupada, and we have many books of disciples of Srila Prabhupada who explain things, the dealings with Prabhupada, but also how things were in the old days. And I just purchased the book of Govinda Dasi. She was initiated very, very early. And in her book, there's things which I never heard before. It's very, very interesting. So it's always interesting to hear. And for any person who joins the Hare Krishna movement, it is important to learn English. There's many countries, Russia, Italy, Spain, where the devotees, they read just the Spanish Gita or the Russian Bhagavatam, and they never hear Prabhupada speak. And even hearing just Prabhupada's voice is purifying, you know, because it's a pure devotee. Some of the gurus might be very pure, but they will all say, you can't compare us to Srila Prabhupada. He is 100% pure. And in the past, when Prabhupada left this planet, there were 11 successors, and the devotees were taught that they were actually on the level of Prabhupada, and many of them fell down, and then many disciples lost their faith. So they're not, Prabhupada is in our, like in the Parampara, you see only 20 or 21 names, but that goes on for thousands of years or even longer till the beginning of the universe. And you see there's only a few names mentioned, and these are the ones which are very, very important. So Prabhupada's name will be there, still be there in thousands of years, very, very clearly, that he understood exactly the teachings of his guru, who heard it from his guru, and like that. So we as disciples and grand disciples, if you don't read Prabhupada's books, which he wrote, and now there's a discussion about the original translation and then the changed translation, things like that. But if we hear Prabhupada speak and read his books, then just for instance, we had a Dutch Bhagavad Gita, and where Prabhupada writes in his Bhagavad Gita, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It says the Mahamantra. But as a translator, you should completely translate everything what the author says, like that. And Prabhupada is very, very clear. And just like, for instance, if there was a newspaper article and which was negative, he asked how many times Krishna was mentioned. You know, that was more important, because the name of Krishna, just by reading it, even if the article was negative, it had a positive effect, a purifying effect on the soul of those who read that newspaper article. I'm going to have a look at a verse more. Yeah. So, no, it's okay. You can take it away. So Uddhava, he's described as a very learned person. Even Lord Krishna, you know, he spoke with Uddhava, and they spoke, you know, sometimes you have friends and they are younger, and some friends, they are older, and some friends, they are equal. And with Uddhava, it was more, he and Uddhava, they were more friends on the same level, more like cousins and friends, and they spoke more as, you know, as friends, and to reveal your mind like that. You only reveal your mind to your friends, and to older friends, like, or older devotees, you inquire more. And you ask, do you think this is right? Like that. And to a younger devotee, you don't say your doubts, or you more try to clarify their doubts, like that. And if someone asks you, being an older devotee, do you know this? Then you should honestly say, no, I don't know, but I can ask for you. You should never say, and make something up, speculate. You should be honest to say, no, I don't know. I haven't studied that, and like that. So you have to be very honest, because we're all on a different level, and we can only speak from what we have realized. So often in a class, I hear devotees speak, and some people, they are just like parrots. They quote verses, but I myself, I prefer to hear realizations, even if it's of a young devotee. Their realizations of I find more interesting then it becomes also more personal, because the Lord is in our heart, and in each heart he directs each one of us differently, and he speaks from within. He guides us differently, and he might tell things to one devotee and not to the other. So even if it's a younger devotee giving class, if he speaks from realization, etc., then it becomes interesting, that he can learn something, rather than if they quote something from a scripture, because that you know already, mostly, if you know the scriptures, like that. But do you have any question? Because the verse is very small, and it's more about older and younger. I've explained that. I've explained about Uddhava and Krishna, and more. There's not much more in the purport. So I will have a look at the verse again if I see something more. I don't think so, no. So if you have any question, please go ahead.
Well, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, PRABHU, Prabhu. This is our first time meeting, and I'm already in so much love with you for the way you spoke. Very beautiful. And of course, dear devotees, our revered speaker is a direct disciple of Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada.
Can I say something about that?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. You see, so I just met Govinda Dasi in Singhachalam, Germany, and she joined in the 60s.
Yeah.
So when you joined in 65 till 69, then you could just walk in and out of Prabhupada's room. He has given you your name personally with a fire sacrifice. He gave you your Brahmin initiation. Then in 1970, 71, he still knew your name, and you still could go into his room. But by the time it was 73, when I joined, there were thousands of disciples. And I got my name by a telegram. I got my Gayatri by a tape recorder. And those who joined in 65 till 69, they joined Swamiji. I didn't join Swamiji. I joined the Hare Krishna movement. And to be honest, when I saw the picture of Prabhupada, I was not really attracted to him. He looked a little angry, grumpy to me. If I look at the same picture, because I still have that Bhagavad Gita of 72, his eyes are full of compassion. But at that time, he looked, he didn't look friendly. So that is sometimes if you love someone, your eyes, you get purified. So I didn't join Prabhupada. So I met Prabhupada because when I come to a new temple, they always ask, "Oh, you're the Prabhupada disciple. Tell me stories about Prabhupada." But the only thing Prabhupada said to me was once during a morning walk, because I'm Dutch, right? So my English, when I was 23, I'm talking about 73, I'm now 74, almost 75, then my English wasn't that good. And then Prabhupada spoke with a heavy Indian accent. And then were all these Sanskrit names in it, which I didn't understand. So half of the class, it went above me. And then, so during morning walk, I walked behind him and very close so that I could hear what he was saying. And then I stepped on the back of his slipper. And then he turned around and went like, ah. So that is the only thing he said to me. It's very funny, but also very sad. So I'm always like when people ask me, oh, you're Prabhupada disciple, tell me Prabhupada's story. So like that. So I had no relationship with Prabhupada. For me, he was the guru, but I joined the Hare Krishna movement. And even when he passed away in 1977, I didn't cry because I didn't really have a relationship with him. Nor did I knew, one second, there's a notice in front of the, nor did I knew, because at that time when I joined, there was only Krishna book 1 and 2, and the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto and second canto, and the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. There were no other books. There were no biographies of Prabhupada. So I didn't know that he had suffered a heart attack or two heart attacks, that his typewriter was stolen, that his manuscript of the Gita was stolen. So he was just a figure in the distance. I saw him about 7 times, but from a distance, you see? And so only many years later, I realized that my greatest well-wisher, that he's my greatest well-wisher, had gone. And then I only cried, you see? So now I wrote many songs in his glorification, Vyas Puja offerings. I have about 7 songs now to him. And anyway, so that's my story. So, but there are many Prabhupada disciples who were his servants or who were there, who spoke with him, who were his GBC or even a guru later on, or sannyasi, and they're gone. You see, so it is more important not to have a personal relationship, but more that you keep his words in your heart. So the first thing what I do in the morning is to put on my CD player and listen to Prabhupada, sometimes lectures, sometimes singing. Now at the moment, I'm listening to him explaining the Maha Mantra, and so I'm listening, trying to learn it by heart. And just hearing it, I feel like a baby in the lap of his mother. Because, I don't know, because sometimes if I feel like, if I put Prabhupada on, I'm completely peaceful. So whatever I do something with my hands, like cleaning or cooking or editing pictures, or then I put on a lecture or Prabhupada. So in this way, my mind is engaged. And I'll try to increase my chanting by, for instance, everyone fills a water bottle with water, isn't it? So I chant like 5 Maha Mantras, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, and then the water is full. I count them. Or if I grate my turmeric, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. So I add little things like this with my nutmeg when I grate things, or when I fill the water bottle. And sometimes, but that sometimes I forget, when I go up and down the stairs. So there are things to increase your chanting. When your mind is idle, not like, or you can sing, because I prefer singing, chanting, but just to increase your chanting, so that the Maha Mantra is like more or less 24 hours a day in your head. And this way you become purified. So Prabhupada gave us everything we needed to become purified. And it's only our deficiency that we just don't take his prescription. Just like the doctor says, you have to eat this pill and you have to avoid eating this, but eat this and sleep like this, and take a shower like this. And this way, if you follow the instructions of the doctor, you might get cured. So if you follow the instructions of the spiritual master, especially of Prabhupada, then you're getting better. And Krishna is within and without. So if the Lord within realize that you listen to him without, then he will start speaking within to you more and more. Is that clear?
Very much clear, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Well, we cannot deny what you shared with us. But as far as you were initiated by Srila Prabhupada, even though you were not in the 60s group, if even you were like the late 77 group, you still Srila Prabhupada's disciple. And with that, we thank you as our revered uncle, passing on the teachings that Srila Prabhupada gave to you personally, directly, with the world. And some of us, most of us here, I should say, are disciples of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
And they are teaching us what Srila Prabhupada taught them.
Yeah.
And like you rightly said, despite the fact that Srila Prabhupada said that things are going to get changed, which we all know change is the rule of this material world. So things are going to get changed. But what do we do, especially if we are a leader or if we are long practicing devotees who saw how Srila Prabhupada did things, and now we do not see the same things being done? What do? Do we say things are going to get changed, so we should just let it go, or what do we do? And how do we do things in such a way that we also do not offend other people? So this is my question, Prabhuji.
Okay. I actually wrote a song about that. You want to hear it?
Yes, please, yes.
Let me just find it. 1 second. Where is it? As long I just have to open it. It is a song, actually. It is a Vyas Puja offering of a few years ago. And I'll open it now. I will sing it. As long as I shall live, I'll do my best to give what I've learned from you that is so deep and true. As long as I shall live, I'll try to care and share with those who show their keen to see what I have seen. I miss you so much since you have gone. It isn't easy to carry on. What others say and do makes me sad and blue. My heart must hide away words I cannot say. Some do not say the things they should, nor act the way I know you would. But all the same I'll play their game their way, so your message will live on. You nurtured everyone. Whatever we could do was good enough for you. I will try my best to see your special legacy will flourish and live on through drama or a song. I am so grateful for what you have done. I miss you so much since you have gone. Oh, Srila Prabhupada, may I not betray your trust. May I free my heart from lust. It's what I promise you. So here in this song, I say, some do not say the things they should, nor act the way I know you would. But all the same, I play the game their way. And what others say and do makes me sad and blue. My heart must hide away words I cannot say. So I try to, if I see something, then you shouldn't correct someone in front of others. But you can write a personal letter to him. For instance, I see some of my godbrothers, or even guru sannyasis, they promote their book or CD from the asana. So I wrote to the GBC and saying, this is, I myself, I sell USB sticks or CDs, but I would never during a class say, oh yes, I have CDs and USB sticks, or you can read it from my book, which is, no. So I told the GBC, a suggestion, please, if someone has a book for sale, ask the temple president or a representative to speak after the class that this sannyasi, or this Prabhu, this Mataji, she wrote this book and it's available in the reception room if you want to like it last. So like that, and it's implemented. It's now in the GBC rules. But lately, this year, I saw a guru and sannyasi promoting it in the temple room, signing it, and I wrote to him. And he didn't reply back, which I felt very sad. He should at least, oh, I'm so sorry and thank you. But he didn't, which I'm disappointed that he didn't do that, that he didn't just say, oh, I didn't know, I'm so sorry. And thank you for letting me know. Anyway, so I do my best like that. So I always, if I see things which not supposed to be done, either in deity worship, etc., then I'll tell them, because if I don't say it, then I feel then I will share in the offense. You know, like if you're like a strong person, right, and you see someone attacking someone, then you should help that person. You know, if you don't blind eye, and then of course, if you're a skinny boy, then you're not. But if you're a strong person, then you should, you know, hey, stop doing that like that. You know, like that. So the duty of Prabhupada disciples is supposed to correct people, but the way of correction is what I did wrong in the past, that sometimes I correct. But first you have to befriend them, or letting them know that you are their well-wisher, and then they can accept a criticism. Because if you just correct, you come in a country and say, oh, this is wrong, then, you know, then the false ego gets, you know, like this. But if you tell them like this and this and this, and, you know, this was the way we did, and just for instance, one time in Calcutta, during Mangalarti, people were chanting samsara prayers, and then suddenly they heard some rumor in the back, and they looked up, and Prabhupada was like a little heavy with a devotee, and then again to another devotee. And then afterwards, they heard that he was heavy with them because they had their arms behind their back. You should be in the altar like this or like this. So like that. So I tell that to people, you know. If I see someone, I sometimes very friendly, I take their hands and put them like this if I know them, you know. Or I take them, I tell that after the kirtan or so. So not, I speak to one personal, just in general. And then for instance, you know, in the old days, we always used to dance. So in this Prabhupada explaining about the Mahamantra, then he says there's so many forms of ecstasy, hair standing on end, fainting, and one of is to dance. And he says you can see that even that by chanting, you become so happy that you start to dance. Even a child can dance. So I was in a temple in New York, not in New York, in another temple in the US. And the temple president and the pujari, because it was a marble floor, and although it was warm, they were standing on a mat right in front of the altar. They didn't move at all. Neither did the bhaktas. There was only 2 Prabhupada disciples who were dancing, and people looked at them like they were crazy. So then they asked me to give, I was there for a month, and in the first week they asked me to give a class. So I said in the class, Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness is chanting, dancing, and feasting. And they never asked me to give class again. So I was in Singhachalam. You see, now my most devotees my age is sick or they're stiff. They don't dance anymore. So now young people, they think that's the way it's supposed to be. So I was just in Singhachalam for the Singadev Chaturdasi, and I said after Mangalarti, I said, excuse me, I said, you know, Srila Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness is chanting, dancing, and feasting. So please, this is a festival, let's all dance. And even like Tulsi artists. So we used to always dance towards Tulsi and backwards and sideways. And sometimes it looked like a funeral, you know. They're all like looking solemn and no joy in their face. And then here we go again. So for a devotee, my advice is never go into automatic pilot. Always, you know, remember how you were at the beginning, how enthusiastic, and that was because everything was fresh. So if you don't keep that freshness and you give yourself completely, and then you stay happy. But if you keep back and you go on automatic pilot, you end up at the back of the temple room and you shuffle a little bit like this and this, and there's no bliss anymore. So I have a picture of me in 1974 where I look in bliss. So how many more minutes we have? Because 5 more minutes?
No. Prabhu, we have many more to go. Usually, our speakers speak for about an hour before we turn on to the questions and answers. Okay. And you spoke for about 27 minutes.
Nah.
So if you still have time,
okay,
if you still have time to speak,
I'm going to say one more thing about this.
We are here for you.
So I'm a professional singer, dancer, and actor. So when I joined, I thought acting, oh, that is Maya, so, But then we started doing plays, and then so I joined in 1973, and in 1975 there was an album released of Mangalananda called A Change of Heart with English songs. Do you know that album, A Change of Heart?
I may know the songs, but I may not know the title of the album.
Anyway, so it's called A Change of Heart, and one of the songs is, Oh Govinda, within my heart, celestial herdsman, lotus-eyed one, or another song goes, a caterpillar changed his mind and woke to find himself rewind. His old self had to die for him to be a butterfly. So things like that. And I thought, oh, you can do that for Krishna too. And then I heard that in New York, they had a drama group called the Vaikuntha Players. And I wanted to go to New York to join them. But I was the temple commander and head pujari. So the temple president didn't really want to let me go. So finally in 77, they let me go. So I went there for half a year for a visa. And then I was there. I joined the group. But then in February or March, there was Gorpulin. And Prabhupada paid from his own money for the Vaikuntha Players, about 8 of them, to come to Mayapur. But because I wasn't in any of the plays yet, I didn't go, so I had to stay back in New York. Otherwise, I would have performed for Prabhupada, but so I never had that pleasure. Because Prabhupada loved plays and loved culture. He said, Krishna consciousness, by culture, you can conquer the world. And he really appreciated, complimented, just like I think in Mumbai, he said, oh, Hiranyakashipu was the best, or Rukmini was the best, and, complimenting them like that. And it was in our old days, we were all like brothers and sisters. It was not so separated between men and women. And even there was a play where a sannyasi, Sudama, there's 2 Sudamas, but he was the head of the Vaikuntha Players. He was playing Mantara, the hunchback maidservant of Kaikeyi. And Kaikeyi was played by a god sister, Rathagya, who was a very good actress. And she wore a wig, and the sannyasi was combing her hair. Now, Prabhupada was watching it, and he didn't say anything. And it was a sannyasi and a woman. And nowadays, one time I performed in Lithuania, and I was with a dance group. So generally, I have girls coming in, but men, not so many. And most men I have, they're never good dancers, unfortunately. I was in Nairobi, because black people, they can dance and swing, they have rhythm. So there I had lots of men, and they were good in Nairobi. But in the West, men are stiff, most men. Anyway, And so I have them on the side. So someone filmed, and you saw me just with 4 girls next to me. And then someone who was a big offender, he wrote, and someone posted, and he wrote, just see, he thinks it's Krishna dancing with the gopis. First, he thought I was a sannyasi. Anyway, this devotee died afterwards in COVID time. And I tell you truthfully, I didn't feel bad about it. I didn't wish him well. Even like that, I was just neutral. You know, I thought that if he offended so many devotees, some he was right, you know, criticized, but many unjust. And there you get the consequences, because the greatest thing, worst thing you can do as a devotee is to offend another devotee, especially if they're innocent. If you accuse them of something, you know, that is the most painful for the devotee. Just like, for instance, if someone accuses you that you are a thief and you're not a thief, or that you lied and you didn't lie, that is the most painful, at least for me, that's the most painful thing. If someone accuses me of something which I haven't done. If they have accused me of something what I've done, okay, I can say I'm sorry, and yeah, you know, it won't happen again. But if I haven't done it and they admit that I've done it, then it's very painful. But unfortunately, I'm not such a high-class devotee that, in this case of this devotee who died, that I think, oh, I wish him well. I don't. My heart is not that soft yet, that I wish the best for my enemies. So I'm not on that level. I just tell you honestly. And so I was like, he gets what he deserved, so more or less like that. So I'm not on that high level yet, unfortunately. But so, to be truthful, I am truthful. So this is, you can hear. Okay, so now you can ask questions.
Well, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the answer. It's very insightful. And it was very interesting to know that the Dutch alphabet is pretty much close to Sanskrit. That is very interesting.
The vowels, huh? The vowels.
Yeah.
A is A, E is E, A is E, O is O.
Yeah, very interesting. Dear devotees, if anyone may have questions, comments, realizations you may want to ask, share with us, please.
How many are online?
I think there are like 16 of us.
Okay, because I only see 4 pictures. 3. Anyway.
Yeah, most of them do not have their cameras turning. Yeah. So, Prabhuji, are you speaking from Netherlands?
Yes, I'm in Amsterdam, in my room.
Amsterdam, okay. Okay.
Where are you?
I am in the US.
Where?
I'm in the US.
In the US?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Where?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
And is this a temple?
No.
But what's behind you, all those pillars?
Oh, no, that is, it's just it's just a public space.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But there are different devotees from different parts of the world in this gathering. We have devotees from US, devotees from Africa, of course.
I thought it was mainly Africa. Okay.
Yeah, it's, even though it's Africa, but it's kind of global.
Yeah.
It's all over.
Because you move away.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhu. It seems Kusha Prabhu has something to ask. Kusha Prabhu, you may.
Kusha Prabhu, my question is on Vidura. Why was Vidura being racially discriminated upon? He's one of the sons of Pandu. So why was he not having the same rights with the Yudhishthira and Duryodhana? Is that not racism and discrimination?
Should I answer now?
That's my question.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay, so it said that he was the son of a maidservant. So he was not really a prince. They considered him half.
But we know what we call family
Pardon?
lineage or family tree, even in India.
Just like, you know, you have a son and you have a bastard son, or, you know, he was, you know, he was conceived by a maidservant. So Duryodhan took that, not the others, but Duryodhan took that as an excuse to offend him. That's why he went on a pilgrimage.
I understand. I'm speaking about the bloodline he was born. In the same family, the same man. Normally, that should be racism. If they know that having a child with a son with the maid servant will be treated that way, why doing it in the first place? Why having a child from a maid servant where you know that blood will not be respected like the others?
Well, I can't really hear. You have to speak a little clearer, because, so what is the exact question?
The exact question is, Vidura is supposed to have the same right with the Pandavas and not being seen as a son of a maid servant.
Well, you look, with the Pandavas and the Kurus, like in the Kshatriya, the way it always goes to the elder son, because the elder son was blind. So then Pandu, but then when Pandu passed away, then it was natural that actually Dhritarashtra was thinking, then my children should be actually, you know, now Pandu's died, so I was supposed to be the next king, so my children should be. So I can understand the feelings of Dhritarashtra, but about Vidura, I can't recollect how Dhritarashtra and Pandu related with Vidura, but I think, as far as I remember, because with Pandu I don't know at all. There's not much about him, but with Dhritarashtra and Vidura, there is no looking down at Vidura. It's only Duryodhan who used this as an excuse, because he knew that Vidura was partial to the Pandavas. But I don't know if that answers your question. For the otherwise, I don't know.
Actually, Vidura is an uncle to Duryodhan.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about Kusha Prabhu because of the way he put the question. Well, what is Kusha? It's Kusha. Okay, Harichakra Prabhu, please you may unmute.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much for the class. The unfortunate thing is my phone keeps going on and off. So at certain points, I did not hear what you said, but I heard a message when you were deliberating. You were saying that when somebody is even sitting on the Vyasa and the person shares his or her realization, that is even more like important than just quoting scripture. So
no. Yeah. Sorry, but anyway, continue.
No, did you hear the first part of what I was saying?
Yes. So I hear, but continue. What you want to say?
Okay. So what I want to say is that when you said sharing realizations is very important, and it's actually enlivening. It makes your like if you are giving class, it makes it very lively, and people can learn from it.
Yeah.
Then right after saying that, you also make mention that like if some sannyasis or some people can sit on the Vyasasana and they try to promote their books. So my question is, basically we know that a lot of people, who write books, It's like trying to share their realization, not a matter of just quoting. They share their realization after they've read Prabhupada books and they've practiced Prabhupada books, teaching, and their realization. Some of them put their realization in the form of a book.
Yes, sure.
So if that is the case, then why can't they share it when they are on the Vyasa?
No, they from the Vyasa-san, you should only promote Srila Prabhupada, and the temple president or someone, the temple commander, should tell the devotees in the temple room that the speaker has some books and they are available, and he will sign them in another room, but not in the temple room. It is just that in the temple room, it's just Krishna or Prabhupada and everyone else, maybe on a Vyas Puja day, but otherwise for during the class, from the speaker, asana, we shouldn't promote our own books, even if it's about Prabhupada and our realizations. What about the first part of your question? So when you give a class, you read the purport, and then the speaker is supposed to speak about the purport, shine with the torch from all sides to see what he can say more about that purport. And then sometimes the purport you can speak for days. Sometimes, like in this case, the purport is very small and doesn't say much. It just say about older and younger and Uddhava and Krishna. It mentions just two things. So then you wonder of the other things. But if there is many subjects in the purport, then you have to talk about all these things first, and then you can tell other things. Sometimes people give a class, and they last time I was in a class, and the sannyasi gave a class, and he said, "Oh, such a long purport." And I think, my God, it's so nice. Then you can hear Prabhupada speak, be happy. Why like that? I'm very happy if there's a long purport. Then I have more to say. So, and what do I want to say more? So you read the purport, and then you look at it from different sides to the purport to elaborate on it, and then you continue speaking things related to it, and then you might wander off. But sometimes I've heard, I'm around for 50 years, that some people give a class and they give a talk that nothing to do with the verse or with the purport at all. So right from the very beginning, even if there's lots of interesting points. So those kind of classes I don't like. And with quoting scriptures, there's nothing wrong with quoting scriptures, but if it's just that you just quote a sloka and another sloka, but not really an explanation to it, it's just to show off how many verses you know by heart, that I not find appealing. But some other people might like it, but I myself, I prefer that they talk about the class, about the verse, and shed light on different angles, and then speak things related to it, and then maybe from personal relationship to do with that, like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Is that clear? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Well, thank you for the question, and PARIVIDHA Prabhu, thank you for the answer. But Harichakra Prabhu is my dear senior god brother, and the question he asked, he was saying that he was like getting in and then getting out of the class because I believe he was receiving calls on his phone. But so probably there are some portions of some statements you made that he did not catch. But if I remember, what PARIVIDHA Prabhu was sharing was that there is nothing wrong in anybody promoting his or her books, but it should not be when one is on the asana speaking Bhagavatam, or if it's Bhagavad Gita or Chaitanya Charitamrita. If after the class, then you want to share something, then you may do that. But the class should specifically be reserved for Srila Prabhupada and Krishna, and anything else can be done afterwards.
Yeah, but I know I said the person, the speaker, shouldn't glorify or promote his own book, but
Yeah.
the temple authority should tell the audience
Yeah.
that Maharaj has just written 2
Yeah.
books or 5 books,
Yeah.
and he will be sitting in the reception, or he will be sitting there, and then you can purchase these books and he will sign
Yeah.
it and like
Yeah.
that. But not
Yeah.
say, oh, yes, I'm giving class, or you can read it in my book. I just hear this is the book, and it's for €5 you can give, or you can give more if you want, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
That is
Yeah.
not so, it's not so in good taste.
yeah. Well, personally, I'm in agreement with you that that should be the case. But who am I?
Oh, it's now a GBC rule.
Okay.
It's a GBC rule, and I have it here. 1 second. I can read it for you. Because let me see, how did it GBC video, GBC. Oh no, it's in Facebook. 1 second. GBC. Yeah, GBC resolution. Presentation from the speaker's asana from 2020. Whereas the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita or Bhagavad Gita class is a sacred time dedicated to reading, discussing, and deepening our understanding of our scriptures. Whereas the advertising of one's own devotional product during or at the end of giving those classes is in poor taste. Where it has been observed over the last few years when tuning into many online classes around the world that this practice is gathering pace and risks becoming the norm. Whereas speakers who wish to promote their own devotional products should ahead of time arrange with a relevant authority to inform the devotees where, after class, their book, CD, USB stick, etc. will be available for purchase. Resolved. No books, paraphernalia, or any other products will be allowed to be advertised, promoted, or sold from or near the speaker's asana before, during, or after the class. All ISKCON temples and centers will thus ensure that when speaking from the speaker's asana, speakers will not use the speaker's asana or nearby as a platform for the promotion, advertising, or sale of any books, paraphernalia, or other products, including their own. The only exception to this law are the books and recordings of Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful the GBC took your humble suggestion.
Yeah, I'm happy because I find it
Yes.
disturbing. I noticed I was in a place somewhere, and there was it was a female, and you hardly saw her. I didn't see her at Mangalarti, and I didn't see her just for a brief second at Guru Puja, but she was there all day selling her books, you know, different books, approaching people. And then I'm thinking, you know, anyway.
Well, Prabhuji, myself, I'm a very, very young devotee. But even myself, when I first joined, the mood.
Which year was that?
That was 91. The mood. This is West Africa. The mood was very different. It was very, very Beautiful.
Where did you join?
In Ghana, West
Where?
Africa. Ghana.
Ghana.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes. If a devotee visited from another temple, all the resident temple devotees happily go to meet him with the kirtan, and then we bring him to the temple, And like you're saying, we've seen Uddhava touching the lotus feet of Vidura. We used to do that when we see senior devotees, we bow down. We may not touch the feet, but we bow down. These days, so slowly and gradually, these basic things are fading out. And, well, what can we do?
Well, you have to show by example.
Yeah. Yeah.
And mention it in the class. Just like now, in the verse, it's mentioned about respect.
Yeah.
So in this way, if you go through the Bhagavatam, everyone will once listen to this verse and hear how it's supposed to be done.
Mm.
Guru, Sadhu, and Sastra.
Yes. It is said that Uddhava was a student of Brihaspati. Is that a reference to his previous life, or in this particular life known as Uddhava? And if it was that particular present life,
I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not a scholar. I'm not a scholar. I don't study much. I hear. I just listen to lectures of Prabhupada, and I don't read much. I hear a lot.
Okay.
Sometimes 8 lectures a day, but because my life is about creating. I'm now in the middle of. I'm performing in 2 days' time. I just had a rehearsal for Rath Yatra in Amsterdam. I just rehearsed, just before the Zoom meeting, I rehearsed with a chorus of 4. And tomorrow night, I'm going on Harinam, and then the Saturday is Rath Yatra. But I'm writing songs, I'm recording them, I'm editing them, I'm making background videos. Have you visited my YouTube channel?
Briefly, but I was fortunate enough to have been shared from Her Grace Giridhari Puja. So I will share that. We have a WhatsApp platform where we have.
No, but there you can see what I do.
Yes, so I will share on the WhatsApp platform for the devotees to know.
Because on it, then you see dramas, songs, and musicals.
Yeah.
And generally, if I write a song, some songs are in glorification of Krishna, or Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda, Prahlad, Prabhupada. I wrote 7 songs to Prabhupada, but some songs are about the ups and downs of devotees on their way to become Krishna conscious. Some are funny, some are poking you in your side, and I have a song like Pretender. You know the song Pretender? It's very famous from Freddie Mercury of Queen. And so I'm singing, I'm such a pretender, pretending I'm so renounced. If only they know that it's all a show, I'm not even chanting my rounds. I'm such a pretender, like being adored by my fans, love the adoration and their donation while pretending I'm so advanced. So I was singing that in Vrindavan, and it was a whole group of sannyasis sitting on the first chairs, and some of them were laughing and others were going like You see, they feel offended. So I'm just, as Srila Prabhupada said, he talks about the king. There's only one who can insult the king, and that's the jester. He makes fun of the king, right? You know, like when the king had a son born, and he was so happy, and then the jester said, "Nothing nicer than to pass stool," and the king became very angry. You know that story?
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah, or he says, "What's the difference between you and an ass?" And then he says, "1 meter, your highness." So me as a performer, because I can't criticize too much in classes, so in my lyrics, I can, you know, I can point things which I couldn't say in a class, or else they say blah, 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 blah. So in this way, they will accept it because I'm like a performer, I'm a joker. And because I'm singing, before I used to sing, he is such a pretender. And then people were thinking I was a Ritvik, I don't know why. So then I asked a godmother, Tattva Prabhu, what to do. And he said, just make it I, and then no one can take offense because you're talking about yourself, isn't it? So if I say I'm such a pretender, like being adored by my fans, then no one can take offense because I'm not talking about you, but about myself. Yeah. So in this way, I do it. Yeah. I criticize. Yeah. I have a lovely list about things that annoy me, and which is a very funny song. It's only, the melody is a little too difficult to sing, and it goes like, I've got a little list of those that annoy me and who surely won't be missed. And then I say, but I don't know. Let me. Do you want to hear it? I will find the lyrics. It's a really funny song. Let me see. Where do I find it? Close it again. Lyrics. How's it called? No. PV. So many songs. Set. Refused lyrics. Little list. My fill your heart. Yeah, here. This is my most offensive song. It goes like this. As someday it may happen that a victim must be found, I've got a little list of those that annoy me, who stand on shaky ground and who never would be missed. There's the anti-social networkers who don't return my mail. They say they didn't get it, but I sent it without fail. And not forget the ones I so adore. No, this is the old one. That's it. No, this is the old one. Anyway, so I'm talking about, and the boys that play the cartels, but we really don't know why, because they can't keep any rhythm, but they rather like to try. And the ones I so adore, oh yeah, and the guests that eat garlic and puff it in your face, I'm sure they won't be missed. And the ones I so adore, those that leave their shoes right in front of the door, which is really annoying me. If we want to go in the temple room and it's shoes right in front of the door. Anyway, so as a performer, I'm writing different songs, some to glorify, some to encourage, and some to criticize.
Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji. I think all are a necessity. Whichever one applies to each and every one, you take it and then use it. But dear devotees, I just shared a link in the chat room to access Prabhuji's YouTube link, so that you may listen to and learn a bit more about his humble self. So
dancers around there. Whenever I perform, you can always join me. I'm always looking for dancers.
Yeah, like you rightly said, Africans, we love to dance. We love to dance. We love to sing.
I've been in South Africa, Durban, Batiatra, and in Johannesburg, and in Nairobi.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah. Let me see this. Okay.
Anyone else has a question?
Yeah. Anyone else with a question? Before we bring this to a close?
Yeah.
Well, PRABHU, we thank you so much for being here with us. And you do not look your age at all.
Well, if you're happy,
yeah,
then they say when you're 20, you have the face you're born with, and when you're 50, it's what you make out of your life. So if you're not happy, then your lines go like this, and if you're happy, they go up.
They go up. Okay.
And by taking prasadam and chanting also helps.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, PRABHU, and we hope to have your association in the near future.
No, not in the near future.
No, we would love to have you. We would love to have you again and again.
Next year. No, I'm very busy. I'm very busy. I'm really now in a. I didn't go to PARIVIDHA Yatra. I even had a ticket, but I canceled it because I want to go on. I have so many songs which I didn't record yet, and I'm 74, and I want to record them all before I die. And I was supposed to go to London Bhatha Yatra. I canceled that also. I just want to focus on recording. And so you can approach me next year.
Well,
it's a half a year. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. And PRABHU, we have a certain routine ritual that we follow. That is, at the end of the class, we humbly request all the devotees to kindly unmute, and we all chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra to express our appreciation to our revered speaker, His Grace PARIVIDHA PRABHU, who is an uncle to most of us and maybe a great uncle to some of us. PRABHU, we can't thank you enough. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Vancha kalpa tarabhyascha, kripasindhya evacha, titanata nabhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namaha. All glories to His Grace, PARIVIDHA PRABHU ki jai. All glories assembled Vaishnavi devotees. Jai. All glories to Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.